Hey, this is Carol Register, and I am here for your abundance, all things neuroscience, resetting your nervous system, and really leaning into your next level of leadership. Welcome to my channel. I've got with me today the amazing Lambros Demos. And Lambros, would you tell us a couple of things about yourself?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me, Carol. It's such an honor to be here, especially one of your first guests on your new YouTube channel. So congratulations
Yeah.
on that. I feel honored. And As for me, I am, I guess, as a mutual friend of ours, Kari Michelson would say, in the third act, pretty much right now. So, or I still do, have a successful real estate business, but as successful as it wasn't fulfilling for me, and there was something missing. And that was my outlet for creativity, in particularly acting. I'm also a writer as well, but for the time being, I'm focused on acting. And that is my passion. And it wasn't well, I was doing a lot of acting when I was in high school and a lot younger, but I never pursued it as a career, not until 2 years ago. And that's when I jumped back into the film and TV industry, and haven't looked back since then. I've got over 60 credits under my belt right now,
Wow.
including a couple of feature films and starting to work on another feature film this month actually. So very excited about that, and very happy right now that I'm on track as to what I'm supposed to do and what I'm meant to do and what I love doing, right? So that's where I am right now.
Congratulations. That is so exciting. And, in line with what you're doing right now, what does leadership mean to you? And especially at this stage of your life and your work?
That's an excellent question. I've always considered myself as a leader and not, or rather not a follower. I'm not one to break the rules necessarily, but it's that, if I could do things a different way, and I like to think outside the box, so I'll do that. So I will do that. And I mean, going even further back before real estate, I used to teach. So I mean, that's some of my leadership, I guess, qualities came through. Even on set, sometimes, I'm one of the first ones to volunteer for different things, to take a lead on different things, especially if there's some more beginners on set there.
Yeah.
I'll go out of my way to introduce myself to other people. Like last night, for example, we were on set, whole bunch of new people on set there. They're all sitting around in the holding room, most of them on their phones or whatever, a couple of them talking here and there. I think I'm the only one who actually went around the whole room, introduced myself, shook their hands, et cetera, et
Oh,
cetera. Hey, I'm Lambros.
yeah.
Nice to meet you, blah, 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 blah. Right. So,
Wow.
and then start chatting. Right. So just little things.
Yeah.
I like to lead subtly,
Leadership's in the
by
small
example. Yeah.
steps.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And I love that, the etiquette where I live in Chile is very much like that. You always greet every person in the room when you enter and when you leave, no matter what age you are.
Exactly.
Even the little ones do it to the very elderly. And it makes a big difference, right? It changes the energy of the room.
It
So,
absolutely does. And people relax a little bit and say, hey, okay,
mhm.
this guy's pretty cool, et cetera, et cetera. Because I mean, a long time ago, I think I'm still introverted. And so, I mean, I would label myself as that, or maybe I think there's another word for it when you're like half and half.
Yeah,
And it's funny, you're going to say, well, how can you be an
ambivert.
actor? Yeah, exactly, ambivert or whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say, well, how can you be an actor if you're an introvert? But there's a different part of me that comes out when I'm acting. But I'm trying to incorporate more of that
Yeah.
into everyday life and not be the shy, quiet kid that I was in high school, because I was labeled as quiet. I was labeled as shy, and I absolutely hated those labels
Yeah.
because it's not me. Because when you get to know me, I'm not like that at all. Right.
Right. It makes such a difference. So, whenever you've been feeling pressured or you feel pressure or uncertainty, what do you do that helps you to reset your nervous system and come back to clarity?
Great question. And I've had to deal with different pressure situations. Obviously, being in real estate, there are some pressure situations there, and personal situations as well. Um, I think experience. Um, I fall back on my experience, and I know that things usually find a way of working out. So unless it's a life or death situation, let's just take it one step at a time. Take a step back, take a deep breath,
Yeah.
and try to think logically through the problem, through the issue. And at the end of the day, okay, maybe I'll lose money or something. It's not the end of the world, right? So life goes on. And you need to calm down first of all, right? You
Yeah.
can't take on a pressure situation if you're panicked, or if you're not thinking straight. So I like to take a step back, take a deep breath and just try to think things through properly. Okay, what should the next step be here? And then logically, what's the worst that can happen? If it doesn't go my way, kind of thing, right?
That
Yeah,
pause is huge, isn't it?
yeah,
It
yeah,
just,
exactly. Yeah.
and I'm asking because of the retreats that I run, where we actually really focus on resetting your nervous system and the balance of nature and the abundance and beauty of nature. It
Mhm.
really makes a difference to help us gain clarity, doesn't it?
It does, and breathing as well. So, and I'm guilty as anybody else. Sometimes I find
Yeah.
myself shallow breathing, but if you take a step back and take a deep breath and focus on your abdomen, etc., I mean, it tends to calm you down. Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Like I
Right.
invite everybody, take a pause, take a deep breath right now. Because I do that too. We get going and we get focused on other things, and we don't realize that we're doing all this shallow breathing. I think that's a beautiful point.
Yeah. Yeah.
How has your understanding of abundance shaped the way you lead or create or serve?
Yeah, a great question. Um, I think it was in the mastermind group that we were in together a couple of years
Yeah,
ago, a few years back,
yeah.
that I really um, embraced abundance and really thought about abundance. I had not thought about it before. Um, and during most of my real estate career, I was always thinking from a point of scarcity or
Mm.
scarcity. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Blame my
Yeah,
Canadian
that
upbringing
I
for
my
that.
Canadian co-host also
Yeah,
does the same
yeah.
scarcity. Yeah.
Okay. So is it scarcity, or is that how we supposed to say it?
Whatever you want it to be, it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and a lot of people in my real estate profession there think from that point of scarcity, right?
Yeah.
So, there's probably in our greater Toronto area, there's over 80,000 real estate agents, and there's far fewer um, transactions. Like, there's not enough transactions to go around for every agent. Half
Wow.
the agents did zero deals last year. The stats
Wow.
came out. About 90% of the agents did four or fewer deals. So we're talking only about 10% of them actually can make a living out of real estate. So many of them are part-time. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because a lot of them think, oh, there's not enough deals to go around. So they're always thinking about scarcity. But
Right.
meanwhile, um, if you think about it differently and think from an abundance perspective, things will change for you, right? There's so many houses out there, there's so many people out there. All you have to do is find someone who knows, likes, and trusts you, and you will do business, right? So, easier said than done, obviously, but you have to like reprogram yourself
Yeah.
from that abundance mindset.
Yeah.
And I've taken that thinking into acting as well.
Mm.
There's I don't know how many middle-aged white dudes out there competing for the same parts that I am, right? So, and I have a lot of friends that are, more or less my age, more or less my look, etc. And we all end up competing for the same parts, right? But if I'm thinking from a scarcity perspective, I'm less likely to get those roles. But if
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you know what? maybe that role was not for me. Maybe it was my friend was a better fit for that role. Maybe he's taller, he's thinner, he's heavier, whatever, he has a better look for that. And that's fine. And then you move on because I know there's other roles out there that I'm probably more suited for,
Mhm.
right? So you have to think that there's enough roles out there for everybody, and I cheer them on, right? I met a guy on set about a year ago, and he had the opposite mentality. He was actually a bit jealous because we kind of found out we were competing for the same roles,
Yeah.
and he would make little side comments and snide remarks about, oh, you got this role, and I auditioned for it as well. And that happened two or three times where I beat him out for those roles, but not on purpose, obviously, because I found out after the fact he was
Right.
auditioning for it as well. So I explained to him, hey, like there's enough roles to go around. I'm sure you're going to get some roles as well that,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
uh,
like, yeah.
so, and then his I think his perspective changed after we chatted a little bit, and I told him that I'm supporting you and everything, and how can I help you and stuff like that, right? And I sent him a few roles as well that I thought were appropriate for him,
Yeah.
you know. So
And I think it's so important, that's really leaning into the neuroscience side of things and the neuroplasticity we have. You're choosing to believe it. You're writing a different story from that one of scarcity or scarcity that you had in the past.
yeah.
And, it's so important because I had that too. It came from the limiting beliefs that were wired in as I was growing up. And then
Mhm.
they're operating back there without our awareness. But yet you were seeing how it was affecting you, affecting your decisions, and that, oh, there's all this abundance out there. What got you into recognizing that? Where did the shift come for you where you went, oh, oh, you mentioned in the mastermind that we
I
were
think
in.
so. I think they did
Yeah.
talk about abundance in the mastermind, if I'm not mistaken. But I think there's also because I'm always one who uh, loves to learn new things, and I think I'm always looking to improve myself, my skills, everything. So even when I started in real estate, every year I would take at least one training course or go to one, seminar or presentation or something to add to my knowledge, to add to my training, et cetera, and learn new things, and not necessarily real estate specific either. And that's
Mhm.
the other reason why I joined the mastermind too. Is it had nothing to do with real estate, just had allowed me to meet great people such as
Yeah.
yourself and a few others, and learn and think from a different perspective, and then take all that experience and knowledge and apply it somehow to my path, right? So um, and I think some other courses as well, they were talking about abundance. I don't remember exactly who it was, but there was some seminars that I went to that were talking about abundance. So that's when maybe it was my third or fourth year in real estate that things started to shift and change in my head. And that's when my career took off as well. It took me about a couple of years to, you know, really get into it. And then when I finally was thinking from an abundance perspective, that's when I skyrocketed.
I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, it changes everything, doesn't it?
Mm.
It's
It
where
does.
the magic and the
Yeah.
miracles start to, go exponential.
Yeah.
So, what is, well, you answered what the mindset shift is that you make, but is there a daily practice that you've done that's gone along with learning to think in abundance?
Um, yeah, I don't think not a conscious daily factor, that's for sure. I mean, I just wake up every day and think about what needs to be done. I don't really think that way. I think I've kind of trained my brain to think in abundance right
Yeah.
now, but it's not. It's like I mean, it's not that I don't believe in meditation because a lot of people do, and I'm not taking anything away from them. That whatever works for you is great, but I don't do that stuff. I don't meditate or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just think I'm very thankful that I have a clear head right now at my age, and I'm able to just think logically and okay, this is what I got to do, blah blah blah, I just go about the same things all the time in the same way, if that makes sense. I don't
Well,
know.
it's interesting what you said. You said I've trained my brain, and when we do, when we continually practice something, a new belief like abundance.
Hmm.
One of the ways you mentioned earlier, putting it into practice, was going around the room and introducing yourself to everybody. And really, none of us grows in abundance in any area of our lives alone. We do it together, we do it with
Hmm.
others. And even if we're very introverted, like you mentioned, ambiverted, I think
Yeah.
we're now the science really says there's not a true extrovert or a true introvert. We're all on a scale together,
Right.
but it's that continually doing something to apply it. And so that's why I asked about a daily habit. But when you're going into a room and you're practicing it, or you're beginning, anytime those scarcity thoughts come up, you're thinking, no, I'm abundant. You are retraining, and especially with any kind of an I am statement. I am
Yeah.
abundant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Having th said that, I think it would be remiss not to mention I like to take days off,
mm,
so I
yeah,
think some people call it a mental health day or whatever.
yeah.
So I call it a day of relaxation or
I
whatever.
call it
Maybe
a
just
pajama day.
hey, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. So where I don't want to work that day. Sometimes I don't even want to go out if unless the
Yeah,
weather's nice, I'll go out. But maybe I'll just stay in that day, just not really think about anything and not do very much that day, just to clear my head and
yeah,
relax a little bit and watch a little TV, maybe read a little bit, whatever. Maybe go swimming or whatever. You have a pool in my building, etc. Just to take a step back and just like chill and
right.
just kind of reset myself.
Mm,
And then, but I think that's important. So if you're talking about daily practices, that's maybe a weekly practice. It's
yeah.
at least 1 or 2 days a week, depending on how intense the week is. Then, yeah, for sure, I will do
Well, I
that.
think the really important thing about that is as we start to reprogram our subconscious, that then becomes our new default operating level. So we are not consciously thinking, "Oh, I am abundant" all day long. We're
Mhm.
enacting it because we've got it wired in. And, being able to take a reset day, I mean, this is the importance of the retreats, right? Being
Yeah.
able to take that step back, get the clarity, go get in the pool, take a walk, or like you said, even stay in.
Hmm.
Sometimes those are the greatest reading days too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
So
Yes.
I love this so much. And as we wrap up, what one tip would you leave people to help them elevate their lives with their abundance and with what they're doing in leadership?
Um, Great question. I would say just believe in yourself. Um, Step outside the box. The other thing I learned from the mastermind is to be the first to do things. Years ago, if I was in a room with a bunch of people, I'd be too shy or too nervous to walk around and talk to them. Now I'm the first one to introduce myself.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just just be the first to do something. And there's other people just like you. You might
Yeah.
think that, oh my God, I'm the only one that's shy here. I don't want to talk to anybody. They're gonna think I'm a weirdo or whatever. But just don't be afraid to be yourself and then go out there and talk to people. You'd be surprised how many other people are thinking the exact same way as you, and how nice people can be when you start talking to them, right? So no one's gonna bite your head off, and no one's going to be rude to you. And if they are, that's on them,
Yeah.
on you. You just move on. That's it, right? So I would say just be yourself and be comfortable in your own
Oh,
skin,
yeah.
and don't be so serious all the
Yeah.
time. I make jokes about myself all the time,
You
right?
do you have any great one-liners you can leave us with
I don't,
tonight?
not at the moment. Well,
Okay, I'm putting you on the
I guess I
spot.
do because today is May the 4th, right? So for Star Wars fans out there, right? May the
Right.
4th be with you. That's why I'm drinking from my Star Wars cup. I don't know if you can
Yeah,
see. Rogue
there we go.
One, Star Wars. There we go.
May the
So
fourth
there's
be
my joke
with
for the day.
you.
Yes,
Okay,
may the 4th be with you.
I
Yes,
love
yes.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing with us about what you're up to and the exciting things in the world that you're doing in the world of acting. I've seen you on stages, and you do have that confidence. You do have that air of, wow, I really know and like and trust this guy. And that's something that is really powerful in terms of leadership. And I especially appreciate you being here and being one of my first interviews on the new YouTube channel. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
We were just together at DigiFest,
Hmm.
and it's a wonderful digital festival. I invite you all to join next year. This year was the 10th anniversary. It was spectacular, wasn't it?
Absolutely was, and I'm so thankful and grateful that I went down there. This year I missed it the last year, the last couple of years rather, and I'm so happy that I went this year and I
Yeah,
got to reconnect with you and a
yeah,
few others, and Scott and Diane obviously, and meet some great new people as well.
yeah.
So make some great connections, and just watch some great some creatives, some work that they've done. That the screenings that we had, wow,
Right.
some stuff I saw there was
And
amazing.
congratulations, you won an award. I'm like remiss here. He
Thank
actually
you.
won an award. And was it a short that you submitted?
No, it was my acting reel.
That's
So
right. That's
there was
right.
a category, they had acting as a category. So Diane was encouraging me to submit my acting reel, and I did. I submitted it last year as well, and won then. And I thank you for being there to accept it on my behalf, which I really appreciate.
Yes, that's right.
But this year I was there in person. That's why Scott, I don't know if you picked up on that when I walked up on stage. Scott said, "Hey, you're here this year to pick it up." I was like, "Hey, thank you." But yeah, so and the speakers, I have to mention the speakers. They were incredible, right?
Yeah, they
Every
sure were.
last one of them, and I learned so much. I got so inspired by the people on stage. I went up
Yeah.
afterwards and try and talk to each of them and thank them for being there and sharing their insights and their inspirations. Yeah, yeah.
Magnificent, right? And so as we close here, where can everybody reach you?
I think the best place is Instagram. I check it daily. So it's at Lambros on Q. So my first name, Lambros, no E. A lot of people tend to add the E there, but it's Lambros ONCUE. So Lambros on Q.
Lambros. He is Greek, by the way.
I
Well,
am Greek. Opa. Let's go.
Opa. Thank you, Lambros.
Thank you very much, Carol. I really appreciate being here. And then again, honored to be one of your first guests.
Reach out to him, collaborate. If you're an actor, if you've got some films coming up, you've got some things going on, I'm telling you, you'll want to watch this guy's reel. He is amazing. All right.